I can't.
All
I
right.
can't.
We are
Done?
going to start fresh. The stream is up. We are streaming right now.
Okay.
I am sending him the link at this very moment. And guess what? He has the link.
Okay. It's just gonna be the two of us, which I don't have a problem with because everyone's already dead.
Yeah, right?
So that's something.
So, turns out this is gonna work at all, after all, huh? I'm so confused. So again, to run this real quick, I'm K-King. This is Carrie, who you hear talking right now. We're gonna have a special guest today for the beginning of the podcast, first episode. You know, the inaugural episode, if you will. Reuben Langdon. You know his voice and you know his movement from things such as May Cry, Resident Evil, Uncharted.
Hi. I
Hi,
woke
Jason.
up.
You
He's
can
gonna
go
be
back
here.
to bed.
You
Maybe.
can go to sleep if you want, man.
Huh?
No,
You can
AJ,
sleep if you want, man.
it is totally
I'm
fine.
Yeah.
We're not forcing you anything. Go to.
I splashed myself with water. I'm awake and energized.
Jesus.
Sorry, you didn't have to do all that.
All right.
I'll have to give me a minute. I need to get my earbuds.
Huh?
So you'll have to give me a minute. I need to get my earbuds.
Oh, ready?
If I can find them, that'd be great.
You know what? I think I don't have a soul right now.
That is an utter mood, and that is sad that that is a mood. Well, it looks like the stream is gonna work. It's a little later than anticipated, but I mean, it's happening. So
That's true.
At least we can say our last stream had 12 views.
That's true. That's also true.
I'm going for positivity. I'm trying. Am I doing good? I don't know if you're doing
absolutely, you're doing great.
good. Hey.
You both are doing great.
Finally. Spreading positivity.
Huzzah!
You can hear how tired you both are.
My hand is genuinely hurt.
Rip.
I will say you were correct.
What? Me?
Very soon after the thing was cut off. Alrighty, I think we have everything up and going.
Good.
Really now.
All we gotta do is wait a minute.
Make sure I have the questions up and ready here, and I need to grab Ellie's questions as well.
I grabbed my questions. What do you mean? Wait, it says you removed him from the group conversation.
Oh, that was the other email.
Oh, okay.
Let's see.
Alright.
Alright, it looks like everything's up and ready to go.
Cool. Ooh.
Beautiful. And I shall keep an eye on this stream.
Good. Ew, what the heck? Why are there bugs? Get out of my face. I had to use my headphone mic.
Whatever you
Does
gotta
it
do, you
sound
know?
any... I was gonna say, does it sound any different?
It does.
Like, better or worse?
A little
Okay,
better.
our sound on the
Okay.
stream seems okay.
All
My
right.
eyebrow itch. Let's show a link to the, whatchamacallit, video.
One moment. I'll give you the link. Oh, here he is.
There we go.
Oh.
He has joined the hangout.
Oh.
We're go- we're go- we're gonna do this, boys. Oh,
Oh.
man. Whoa.
Let me just grab my questions real quick.
Let me just grab my fish.
I'm trying to find Ellie's questions.
I think they're in.
They're in her channel, and I think they're in the recording process. I'm not sure.
Oh, heck, I need to feed my fish.
I don't see them.
Oh, no, they're in general.
They're
Both me
in
and her.
Oh.
general chat.
Yeah, just scroll up like a little bit.
Got
That's
him.
about it.
Got him.
Okay.
Fishy.
I got
Get
my
some
3.
food.
Already.
Whoa, why does fish food smell so gross? Oh, he's in here.
Hello.
Mr.
Hello.
Langdon,
Hello, hello.
how are you, sir?
Finally got this thing working. Sorry about the delay.
That is,
That's
it
fine.
is absolutely fine, man. I really appreciate you taking the time out to come on here.
No problem.
So,
How's the quality coming in? Okay.
it's coming
It's
in
pretty
fine,
good,
yeah.
actually.
Crystal.
Yeah, Google Hangouts tends to be a little bit better. Although I just got off the phone from a Skype interview and it actually held up pretty good.
Really? Skype must have gotten a little better since the days of me using it, huh?
All right, I just put in my earphones. So, has this changed anything? You guys can still hear me okay?
Yeah, we can hear you pretty good.
Perfect.
Huh?
So, hi guys. What are we doing here? What's happening?
We're gonna be asking you some questions. And
All right.
So we have a couple of questions from people in our group.
Who all am I talking to?
I'm K King.
Yeah.
I'm the one who sent you the emails. Hello.
Yes. Hey, how's it going, KK?
This here, the one, KP City or Carrie.
Hello there.
All right, KP is Carrie, and then where's everybody at?
AJ.
This is
I'm AJ.
AJ, where are you at, AJ?
Right here. I'm the one with the no icon.
Oh, what part of the world are you in?
California.
Okay. And
Yeah.
Kay, how about you? Where are you at?
Florida.
He's in Maine, isn't he?
I'm in Maine. Carrie's in Florida.
Yeah.
KP's in Florida, so we have Florida, California, Maine, and now Japan.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Linked up
Cool.
across the world. Sweet.
Fantastic. Yeah, I really appreciate you making the time to come in here, man. This is pretty cool. All right. First, I'd like to start off with a question for you.
Sure.
What gave you the inspiration for the series of the citizen hearing?
The citizen hearing. Well, let's see. That was in 2013. Just to give your audience a quick, brief history of the citizen hearing or what it is. It's to date, it's the most conclusive body of evidence on the extraterrestrial subject. Over 40 hours of testimony. It's a mock congressional hearing that took place at the National Press Club in Washington, D.C., just right outside the White House. We had 6 former members of Congress, 1 senator, all retired. And we paid them basically to sit on this panel for 5 days and to hear testimony and conduct a congressional hearing as if it would happen normally in Congress. Basically, the motto is of the citizen hearing was if Congress isn't going to do it, then the people have to do it ourselves, right? So we have to sort of take these issues into our own hands because if anybody's paid any attention to the news over the years, there's like a 0% trust in Congress in getting anything done that truly reflects what the people want. I just saw a video out there that says it's actually like 30% of what the issues that people are trying to have Congress look at actually get addressed, and it's always been like 30%. No matter how much people make a fuss and people want to, write letters, push Congress to do stuff, it's still 30%. So it doesn't really matter. Right now, the whole, as everybody knows, the whole government structure is sort of a mess. So what we did is took matters into our own hand, performed the hearings in a platform and a format in which people sort of already understood and could understand, and that set up based it on a regular congressional hearing because that is what people are used to. And we had former senators and former congresspeople who know that format well. And we had ex-military, government officials, researchers, all testify to the fact that the human race is being engaged by an extraterrestrial presence.
Wow.
And these aren't just, people who you just get off the streets. These are people with PhDs. These are people who, for example, heads of SAC nuke bases, people who basically held the national security of America in, at the touch of a button. They could, launch a thermonuclear war. And people don't get into those positions unless they are thoroughly vetted, and these people are the people who are saying, "Hey, something's going on here. We're being engaged. We've had these encounters over the years, and the people need to know what's going on." So it's a very serious issue, especially at that level. And unfortunately, the issue typically is sort of laughed at or not taken seriously, and people sort of, when you say aliens, right? People sort of laugh and joke about it, which is fine, and I understand.
Yeah.
But our society has sort of been conditioned to not look at the issue seriously, and because of my personal encounters and because of all the research I had done into the subject matter up until that time, I felt the need to take the issue seriously. I felt the need to get the word out and to have other people also take the issue seriously. Therefore, at the time, my partner at the time, Steve Bassett, who is basically his idea was to do this congressional hearing. I supported it, and we raised money and put together a proposal and executed it. Got funds together, and it was almost $1 million budget to do the whole thing. Yeah, it's not expensive to rent it's not cheap to rent the National Press Club, which is like the prestige place to do press conferences and stuff, to fly out, 50 witnesses from around the world. We're flying people from China, from Brazil, from Europe to come into Washington, D.C. and then putting them up for, none of the witnesses got paid. They just got paid a per diem, basically, to pay for their food and their travel costs. But just that alone, when you have that many people and for that amount of time, it adds up very quickly.
That's pretty cool.
Wow.
That's wow.
insane amount of work has to go into a project like that. That's
Yeah.
Yeah, it was one of the most difficult projects I had ever worked on in my life. Just the amount of stress and just high strangeness. Okay, so here's the other thing: is
Yeah.
when you're dealing with extraterrestrials, right? A topic that's sort of been taboo for a lot of different reasons, but especially when it comes to these government people and the secrecy behind the subject matter, um, you're dealing with some high level stuff. Let me just tell you, and the amount of strange things, strange people showing up, the discussions and the topics. It's hard to get into all here in this just one call, but it
Yeah.
was a very stressful and trying time in my life, when you start going down these conspiracies or these secrecies or these there's people that get killed in that arena,
oh, absolutely.
for a reason. They're not,
Yeah.
there's and people's lives have been destroyed. Luckily, I had nothing but great support during the whole event, the whole process, because I think the timing is now. People want this information out. But in the past, there's been a lot of researchers in this field who have, had been accidentally, fall off their bike and hit a rock on their head and died, or had a heart attack, even though they didn't have any prior heart issues,
Or
or
mysteriously disappeared.
mysteriously disappeared and never found again, or these sort of things have happened in the past, and that was something of a little bit of a concern. And but I because I had heard those stories, but luckily I had nothing but support,
Yeah.
and it's funny, it's actually almost scary in some of the places where the support came from. You're like, are you serious? Some people would come out of the blue and sort of like, yeah, we want this information out too, and you're like,
Yeah.
okay, sure.
It's kind of suspicious. Like you think about it and stuff. It's like,
Oh, there's all kinds of crazy, suspicious, weird, crazy stuff that happened during the whole time of production, and it was almost too much, and that's why I had to get out of it. Actually, I started going
right.
into my other series that just because of all the conspiracy stuff around the subject matter is it can be dangerous, and it can be overwhelming.
Yeah. All right. So I have a question. This is from my
Hmm.
friend Jack, and they asked, "Do you have any tips for voice acting? Slash, how did you get into voice acting?"
Voice acting. So, I've said this in other interviews, but first and foremost, voice acting is acting, right? You're
Right.
you're acting. You're just acting with your voice. Um, so, what I recommend people to do is to be an actor first and a voice actor second, because uh, any type of voice acting ultimately is going to you're going to fall back on your acting skills, whether it's on camera, on stage, or voice, or whatever it is.
Yeah.
So for people to jump the gun and go after the voice acting aspect of it, I feel you're missing a very valuable piece of the puzzle. I feel that in order to voice act, it might behoove you to first get some acting classes in, to join a stage group, to get some drama classes in, to be in that realm first. Maybe it might be easier, because voice acting is such a unique niche type of acting,
Yeah.
and 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 once you do that, you may actually find out that you don't want to do acting at all. You may find out that um, that it's just not your thing. and yet you've pursued all this time into voice acting because you thought it was going to be one thing and it's actually not. So try acting first, and if you fall in love and if your passion in the acting field heightens and increases, then and you're still passionate about voice acting, you're just naturally going to gravitate and find the right. Then you start getting into acting, voice acting specific classes and mic technique, and then maybe if the bug still has you and you're still adamant about that, and you want to pursue voice acting, then you move to New York or you move to LA and you start auditioning. You start. I guess there's some things still left in Texas with Funimation and stuff going on there, but then you take it to the next level. But before you move to LA or New York, before you up and do that, first and foremost, try out some acting in your local, drama class or your local city. I'm sure there's got to be some, even colleges or universities, and there's always some sort of drama group or class that you can test the water, so to say, and see if it is something that you truly are passionate about and that you truly love. And then if it is, then go from there.
Well, there you go.
That does make sense, because I've seen like behind the scenes things with like voice acting and stuff, and I do see them like move their hands and like they gesture a lot. So
yeah. I mean, performance is it's that, and then it's just tweaking it from there. So so you whether you want to be on camera or not, if that doesn't matter. Acting, it's called voice acting for a reason. There's the acting part of it is over 50%. So make sure you want to be an actor or actress before you jump into that water.
Now, I would like to bring up a topic. I know you have probably talked about this a million times already.
Mm-hmm.
But the incident with you and your group being shot at while traveling, could you tell us a bit about that?
I was in Guatemala filming a documentary, and we were actually sort of done with one of the portions, and we were headed to do some B-roll shoots on we were actually planning to go to a temple, one of the major temples there in Guatemala. There's amazing Mayan temples all over the place. And we were gonna get some B-roll for the project, and we missed our exit, our turn off, and Google redirected us through some traffic streets, some streets, that alleys and stuff, that not alleys, I should say, just some pretty congested streets. And all of a sudden, our car just started getting shot up out of nowhere. And if you've seen the video out there, you've seen the first 3 shots that hit the car, and then it kind of goes black, and that's after that, I turned the camera off, and then after that, the guy runs up to the car literally and then loads the rest of his clip into the side door. Thank God the bullets just missed me, and some got lodged in the seat and into the door and stuff. But definitely had some angels watching out for me on that one.
Yeah.
And then we sped off and got away, and then it was sort of hair raising. For a while the adrenaline was going, and still processing it now here, weeks later. But yeah, it was an intense brief moment in life, which I'm sure a lot of us have been through these moments, and it's unfortunate, but the fortunate part of it is I made it out unscathed, unhurt, and be able to tell the tale, so to say.
Yeah, you got an interesting story for like parties and stuff.
Yeah, if you've ever looked down the end of a barrel with someone with the intent to kill, it's not a fun place to be. It is not some place you want to be. Which is one of the reasons I'm doing a lot of the documentary work that I am doing, is because we just kind of don't need that in our world anymore. It's time to move on. It's time to get through these issues and and then find out, what drives somebody to do that. Why what on earth would be pushing someone, to motivate someone to go to that extreme where they literally feel that they have to take myself and take my partner out. These these are the things that make my wheels turn, and make me curious. And this is why, I got into the whole ET field. I got into all of this stuff, is because I want to know what are the mechanics of this world? What are the mechanics of people who do these sort of things? What are the mechanics of governments? What are the mechanics? Why the secrecy of the UFOs? What's the mechanics behind that? Why do we have so much technology and advancements on this planet, but yet there's still people in poverty? There's still people shooting each other in the streets. This doesn't make sense to me. And when you start looking into these issues, then you start to see the reasons why, and you start to understand how these conditions and these people are forced into these mindsets, and then you want to make it better. So, and that comes through education, that comes through compassion, through empathy, through forgiveness, from the people who have done these things in the past. And these are some of the key themes that I talk about in a lot of my interviews, and in and the kind of work that I'm doing in my documentaries is to move us into a new paradigm where these things don't happen anymore.
Now, for anyone interested in checking out anything from the footage that Reuben took when he was shot at in the vehicle, to his documentary he's talking of here, or and anything he's worked on, I'm going to put all the links in the description. So I highly suggest you check those out, because there's
Thank you.
a lot of cool
It's pretty
stuff in there,
interesting.
man.
Yeah.
I gotta say, not what I expected, but it's a pleasant surprise.
I'm kind of, I use this jokingly, and I've said this in other interviews, but I kind of, my buddy Jeremy Corbell, he coined this term, DPB. His dick is in the peanut butter, so he's fucking nuts. And
oh my God, Lord.
And I I make the same claim. I'm definitely in the peanut butter, very deep, extra crunchy, and and it definitely makes for some good conversation. That's for sure.
Yeah, it does.
I can.
All right.
My word.
All right. I got a question.
Sure.
Since you voiced Dante from Devil May Cry 5, does anyone in public actually recognize your voice when they hear it, or is it just a
not really. I mean, I'm not. I don't go out in the streets and scream "Let's rock, baby." So I don't. I'm sure if I did, maybe, but it's it's funny. I've been sort of living in Japan off and on here for the past 9 months or so. And I've actually had 2 people randomly on the street, not Japanese people, but one guy was Brazilian and the other guy was from the Philippines, literally stop me and say, "Are you Reuben Langdon?" And I'm like, I kind of stick out a little bit here more than, back in the States. So, but it was just funny because they recognized me from probably some interviews or behind the scenes stuff or something, right? Some other convention appearance, some YouTube videos or something like that. But yeah, typically my work that I do in the motion capture space with video games and films, it's not my face that's out there in the world. I do some, live action appearances. I've been in Power Rangers and other things, but typically I'm behind a mask, or wearing tights and or monster suits or something. And it kind of blew my mind when you hear your name walking down the streets of Tokyo, and and you're like, oh wait, how did you even recognize me? What the hell,
Yeah.
So it does happen, not often, very rarely, and probably more people do recognize me in Japan than not, but the Japanese people in general are very respectful of people's space and privacy.
Yeah.
Which, not saying that these other people weren't, they were awesome. The two people that called me out and said, hey, can we grab pictures and stuff, and hey, are you Reuben Langdon, but should say, not, that's probably not the right term. I think Japanese are more timid, so they're respectful, but they're also very timid and not very
Yeah.
outgoing. So and because I think now many of the Japanese, after I've been spending the past 9 months here and doing public appearances here in Japan, people know that I speak fluent Japanese. But in the past, maybe they weren't sure, and maybe they weren't confident in their English ability too, so they would just kind of not say anything. So, but it does happen. Yeah, people do recognize me sometimes, and it's a good feeling. It strokes my ego, and it's all good. But and I love giving back. I appreciate the fan attention and praise, and me too. I'm an otaku at heart. I grew up in that culture, the
Right.
anime game world myself, and I understand it, and I've had mentors for me, Sammo Hung, Jackie Chan, who also took the time to talk to me, or when I'm geeking out over them or
Oh
something like
yeah.
that. And then they take the time to say hi and try to have a conversation. And I'm those moments for me are pivotal moments in my life. So I try to give back when I can.
Hmm. You're just like internally fanboying at like the same time.
Yes,
Like,
exactly.
oh.
Like, oh my God, you're Jackie Chan. Oh my God, you're a god.
Yeah.
Internal screaming becomes outward.
Yeah.
Yes,
High pitched screaming.
Now, we
exactly.
also have some questions for you from Reddit, and I assume you know Reddit, and I assume
Sure.
you can guess what most of their questions are mainly about.
Well, it depends on the time phrase. I've just the past day. I guess I did an interview the other day, and a lot of questions and a lot of a lot of opinions about that interview. But we don't have to go there. But go ahead and tell
Right.
me what.
Yeah, I was
Let's
gonna
go.
say I read a little bit about what people were saying about that interview, and
Mhm.
some of that territory maybe we should kind of tiptoe a little bit
Yeah.
around that
We
bush.
can, we can, but again, yeah, it's just uh, everybody's entitled to an opinion, and I am a believer in the First Amendment, freedom of speech, and
Right.
I think that's fine, and I'm glad there's platforms like Reddit and 8chan and 4chan that allow people to express themselves in that way, and I think it is healthy to have these conversations and to get it out, but it becomes unhealthy when when there's just it becomes so negative and so full of hate that that that's when you have to kind of say, oh wait a minute, hold on guys, let's
Yeah.
bring in the reins, and let's be nice. As long as we play nice, you
Yeah.
say whatever you want. Yeah.
Well, one of the most popular questions on here seems to be about a project of yours called I'm not sure how to pronounce this. Clandestine.
Clandestine. Yeah, that was an unfortunate project that still might come to fruition. The Thousand Pounds group, Haley and Chris, who were the directors of the Street Fighter Cross Tekken short. I don't know if you saw that.
Hmm.
Is
I have
anybody
not.
familiar with that? Oh, if
I
you
have not.
haven't, go online. It's been out for several years now, but they did when Street Fighter Cross Tekken came out, they approached Capcom to do a live action short, piece where it actually has Dan Southworth as Ryu, who is the actor for Virgil, and me as Ken, who I play Ken, anyways. And then a good buddy of mine, Mark Masashi, who plays what's the Tekken the bad guy in Tekken? What's his name? I forgot his name even. Anyways, we did this amazing. They put together this amazing short film that turned out really, really well. So when they approached me about Clandestine, they said, "Hey, we've got this other project. You might be really good for this role. We're sort of filming some test footage right now. We want to get it out there and promote it. And would you be up for it?" I jumped right on it, and was a fan of their work, and I really wanted to help, do whatever I could have done at the time to see it to fruition. But unfortunately, it just never made it. We shot, I think, the first 2 episodes or so. They raised enough funds, and everybody, put all the resources together, and we shot the first 2 episodes, but it just never got out. And I don't know all the details why and whatnot, but it was a cool project, and it may still get picked up one of these days, but we'll see.
Well, there you go. Oh boy, what was the username? When the wind is slow, there's an answer to your question along with the 20-something other people who replied saying same.
Oh boy.
Do you guys have
I'm
any
not
other
sure I
questions
get
for
that.
him before we continue?
Same means, I think same is just an internet term for they feel the same way. So they just say same.
So you mean in respects of not having it come out or wanting to see it come out? Is that in regard to that?
No, in a sense that they agree with wanting to know more, but they're also not going on and reinstating the same question. Yeah.
So that's I see. That's tagging off of the last question. Gotcha. Okay. Getting up to my internet speak here. All right. Up to date.
Yeah. Gotta get with the millennials.
Yes.
Good luck with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a whole nother pool that's way too deep to swim in sometimes.
Yeah.
I have hope. I actually believe that this world is going to be fixed by the children, not by the grown-ups. So we need to start believing and listening to the youngsters, and it's a whole nother topic. But I feel for those people who think the world's going to hell in a handbasket, it's because of the old people. That's why.
Yeah, it is. Most of the time, it is.
No arguments here.
Yeah.
No offense to the old people. There's a lot of great, wisdom teachers, wisdom keepers on this planet who have been doing amazing work. But let's be real, is that a lot of the old people on this planet are so fixed in their ways and their belief systems that it's, they're so afraid to move into a new paradigm, into a new way of thinking, a new different perspective, that it ends up becoming they end up becoming their own enemies, by choking themselves, by trying to do things in an old way, in an old paradigm way that, and we see it all over. We see the entire government systems. We see our monetary system. We see our ecosystems collapsing, our entire environments. Everything is sort of on edge because of old paradigms that are too fixed and not ready, not able to be to move. So, anyways, little side rant on old people.
Appreciate it. All right. Also, I'm not sure how hip you are with internet culture, but I would
I'm out there. I use it.
I would like to ask your opinion on an image I'm about to put in the chat.
Oh no! Right. Am I gonna have to put this up on the screen?
You probably will. Hangouts is kind of. There we go. It's this one.
Oh my good lord!
Wait, how do I?
We have this. This man has.
Oh, you
How
gotta
do I
go into the you gotta go into the
AJ.
chat.
It's
AJ,
into the
this
chat?
is an interview. We're not trying to ruin the man, alright?
I'm
Oh,
not
this
trying
I've
to
man
ruin
has.
seen.
him.
Trust me, I've seen a lot. It might be hard for you to ruin me. Um, you have to recall. I just got shot off. Oh, okay. Oh, look. Yeah, I have seen this one. Yes, great meme.
What's
Awesome.
what is your overall opinion of it?
100% accurate.
Well, okay, there you go.
Well,
Whoever made this meme, you have the Reuben seal of approval.
Absolutely. Keep them going. I love the fans and I love the memes.
Oh my
Um,
god.
there's so much. It's so much fun to see them come out, and
Yeah.
I get a good laugh. Whoever made that, the old man Dante dancing with the whole group thing,
Uh huh.
I'm sure you guys seen that meme. Genius, absolutely genius.
I think someone did like a version of Dante dancing to the song of "Toxic" by Britney Spears.
Oh, okay,
Oh
that
my
would be a fun one to
word.
watch. Yeah. No, the
Actually,
creativity and these things again. You're talking to somebody that does not get offended. You would have. I mean, I've looked down the end of a barrel, of a guy trying to
Yeah.
kill me, and I still want to give the guy a hug. So
Huh.
it's like you can't really offend me, and I think this whole culture of people being offended by every word or meme or anything that goes out there, it's just like, come on, lighten up, people.
Yeah. Honestly.
thank
This
you.
this is this is people having a good time here, as long as it's not causing any real damage, as long as you're not pulling a trigger and putting bullets down anybody's um, you know
Throat
in
and
anybody's
stuff.
face, yeah, down their throat, then it's lighten up. This is all just fun and games and goofiness, and let people have fun, and this is a way better outlet to do it than to cause wars and shoot your
Yeah.
neighbors,
Yeah. Just like make
which does
just.
happen,
Yeah.
and we have to understand, we have to be careful about that. But this actually, in the whole video game culture, people are like, oh, video games, they're evil, they're gonna destroy the planet, and creating all
Mm.
these wars. Actually, the studies are showing that because of video games and because of virtual reality now becoming so real, it's actually allowing people to vent and to get out this frustration and these stored toxic energies. They're able to actually, it's giving them a safe uh, place to actually get a lot of this aggression out. Now, within 100, 200, 1,000 people, you have one or two people that take it to the next level. That do go crazy and then go shoot up a school or something like that. Now, those
Yeah.
are the people we need to keep an eye on, and we need to really make sure that that stuff doesn't happen. But in general, video game culture and internet memes or whatever, the internet is actually a place it's like a safe zone for people to vent and for people to get stuff out. And as long as we who are dishing it out, who are also on the receiving end, can just take it with a grain of salt and just say, okay, this is just somebody venting and I understand it. And then if we can all be a little bit nicer at the end of all of this, after we vent and after we you know throw mud at each other, if we can just say, hey, I'm sorry, I was heated in the moment and I didn't really mean all that, then things would be way better after that. But we're getting there.
Right.
I think it's an evolution that we're all gonna have to, we're seeing it unfold.
See, what I see is very unfortunate. It's after the interview you were in a couple of days ago that sparked a couple of people's, talks online, so to
Hmm.
speak. I've seen a lot of people saying that they were so bothered by some of the things you said that they
Yeah.
weren't gonna buy any of the works that you were in anymore. Which is
Yeah.
Yeah.
insane to me that you can express your opinion in a place where you should freely be allowed to do so, and then
Mhm.
people have this knee jerk reaction to it like you just spat in their face and kicked their dog.
Right. And if you listen to the interview, and I went back to listen to it because I started seeing some of those comments and I was like, whoa, did I really say anything really to offend anybody? And I listen very carefully, and I, for the most part, choose my words to make sure I try not to offend anybody. And if you really listen to the message that I preach in all of my interviews and everything I do, and this is not just a preach to preach, but a message that I live, I incorporate in my day-to-day life. I I'm all about creating unity and not separation. I want people to come together, and in that message, I was talking about divine feminine. I was talking about the healing and the forgiveness of issues on our planet, and how we need to, all of the great religions of this world talk about forgiveness.
Right.
And the only way we're going to get through these trying times, so to say, that we have on this planet, of everybody, of all the wars and fighting, is to forgive. And I said in that interview, I'll say it again, it's not to forget. We don't have to forget these pains. The guy, I will probably live the rest of my life, and I will never forget what happened to me in Guatemala with the guy, putting a gun and shooting my car, the rent-a-car up. Thank God it was a rent-a-car. Still trying to get the insurance money from that, by the way.
Oh,
jeez.
yeah.
but
That's a hassle.
but that will be something I will live with me forever. And yes, was I traumatized? Am I still traumatized? Yes, my hands were shaking, and I'm sure I'm gonna have. I know I have PTSD from that. But if I don't forgive the guy and try to see the world from his perspective and what caused him to do that, then I'm just going to perpetuate that anger, that hate that he created in that moment. I'm just going to perpetuate that and hand it off to other people, And if I have kids, then I'm going to teach my kids to hate people of color, or hate people from Guatemala who speak a different language, because they're all evil and they shoot people in the streets. But that's not the case. That this was a one-time thing. Guy shot at my car. Yes, it was an unfortunate situation, but I went to the countryside and I spent beautiful time with amazing, beautiful beings of joy, and people who love life and who are living humble lives, farmers. And this guy was just one guy who'd been caught up in whatever he'd been caught up with, drugs or bad situations. And for me to hold a grudge against an entire race of people for this one event, that's the problem we have on this planet, is all these people sort of holding grudges and stereotyping people and saying, well, this person, because of his background or that culture, they're this, and this is where forgiveness comes in. Because if I don't forgive this guy, it's going to perpetuate and just create more harm and more anger and more of the same issues throughout the rest of in our future and moving forward here. And this is the true energy that I think we need to move through.
Yeah, but people nowadays just want to, I guess, be okay with an endless cycle of hate, and that's not okay.
Well, I don't think they want to be okay with it. I think a lot of people just don't understand it.
Yeah.
And we're with the internet, and the internet is a great tool. It's like a knife. It can be used to prepare food and build stuff, or it can be used to destroy and kill. And a lot of people just don't understand the weapon that they have when it comes to the internet. They don't understand the tool. It's a tool or a weapon. And when they speak out about certain things, or when they use this tool in these certain ways, it can cause harm. It can be have ripples. And even my interview, obviously, see it even with me with the best intentions, it still created ripples, and people are taking it in the wrong way. Or I shouldn't say wrong, but in a way that, is in a negative aspects. So, it's just something that we all need to take a step back and look at it from a new set of eyes. And that's why I love, getting back to the ET UFO stuff. That's why I love that topic, is because it really makes us look at the world from a new set of eyes, from uh, a different worldview, a new paradigm.
Right.
I really do
That
have
makes
to say, this
sense.
is not the kind of conversation I expected, but I
Yeah,
am very pleasantly surprised.
yeah, I'm really enjoying it and stuff.
I
Very
am
cool.
too. But I'm gonna lighten the mood with a silly little question my friend wanted to let me ask you. How do you get your
Sure.
voice so crispy?
Yeah.
So crispy. Crispy. Interesting. Well, right now I'm just recovering from a cold, so that's probably why it's a little crispy.
Uh,
Um, but I don't know. Actually, I was listening to some of my voice stuff in the Devil May Cry 5 cutscenes, and I think at that time too, I was recovering from a cold. I think the last cold I had was when I was recording that, like a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago, and I think catching a cold and recovering from a cold is one of the keys to having a crispy voice, I guess.
Yeah, that's the key, guys. Have
all
a
right.
get
So, okay, so I have to go to sleep in about 8 minutes. So I'm just gonna leave this video in here, and
Oh
if you
no.
could, if you could please like give that a watch. Are you familiar with David Hayter's voice acting as Solid Snake?
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm a big fan of David's.
I know
Yeah,
exactly
if
what video
I
he just
feel like
If
I
posted.
don't
you
know. I don't think I've seen this video, but
If you could please watch that as like a final request from me before I have to go to school. If you could try and like replicate that in like Dante's voice as best as you can, what he's
Oh
saying, then
no.
I
swear.
would I would I
I
would forever be in your debt.
I think I know what this is. AJ,
oh,
Oh
AJ,
good lord.
Jesus, why?
I should have said that this would probably happen at some point.
I mean,
so
oh
do you
no,
want me to say what he's saying, or just say something like that,
I think something
or
like that, I think is what he meant.
what is he saying, Colonel?
I'm already dying.
Type it into the chat so that I can just read it,
Here. Let me here, let me give you something.
or something of that sort, and I can
Kaden,
play with
don't
that.
you dare chime in on this.
Hold on.
Don't you
I
dare.
gotcha.
No. I
Did you guys know that David was actually in a movie called Guyver 2,
Really?
a live action film directed by Steve Wang, who was the Kamen Rider Dragon Knight director producer for the TV series.
I did not know that. I'm gonna have to watch
So
this.
it was one of his first acting, starring roles in a film. It's a pretty cool film. Go check it out. So I've been a fan of David since then, since the Guyver days.
I'm gonna
All
have to
right,
watch
so
that.
it's
What
in the
is
it's
what
in
is
the
th
it's
what
in the
is
chat
th
right now.
what is thicc?
Oh,
Thick.
if it's this means thick.
Thick. Okay, it's just
Oh
but with
Jesus.
two C's. Okay, and then clap on. Yeah. Okay.
can't.
What? Why does it say I'm dummy thick?
It's I wish I could explain it. I really do. I'd like a coherent explanation myself, but that's just the thing
It's
instead
just
of
the line. Okay.
it's just the meme, I suppose.
Jesus.
All right. Well, here we go. Virgil, I'm trying to sneak around the van, but I'm dummy thick, and the clap of my ass keeps alerting the demons.
You, sir, are a legend. Oh my
I don't
good
think I
lord.
executed it as well as David did, but oh, what the hell?
That
That was
was
my take on
beautiful, man. Wow.
My soul, it's now gone. It's
Good way to lighten it up, guys.
Oh good lord.
All right. Good night.
I
no.
really do appreciate you coming here, man. It's kind of a mess. This is the first episode of this thing, so I apologize for the disorganization.
I mean, it's
No,
not
it's fine.
the first
It's
episode.
not that disorganized. We're just doing a Google Hangout. That's fine. Um, But yeah, no, thanks for letting me sort of get some of those other topics out and sharing that, and the more people can sort of hear my perspective on things. Hopefully, it'll allow them to widen their perspective on things. Again, not saying what I'm saying is the gospel truth. I want people to come to their own conclusions and their own discernment on all of these issues. But that's sort of my main message, I would say, is just for people to take a step back and look at things from a new set of eyes.
Absolutely, man. And like I said, all of the links for everything that he's worked on and that he's talked about here will be in the description for everyone to check out. I will say it is getting fairly late here. It's about 1:55 a.m.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you're on the East Coast. Yeah.
Would you be all right with us just running a few more questions by you and then calling it a night?
Yeah, let's do that. A couple more, and then we'll call it a night.
Alrighty. Very quickly, I have a question from Ellie, a friend who wanted to be here but couldn't, family issues and so forth. Um, she said, "You've been in classic movies such as I Am Number Four and Wreck-It Ralph. Do you plan on acting in more films?"
Well, I wish it was that easy. Of course, I would love to act in more films and have those opportunities. Um, but it is sort of a sense of opportunity. I put myself out there as an actor. The more I'm doing in the documentary space, it's taking more of my time, so I don't have as much time to audition and to be out there. But if I get a call for another role of Devil May Cry or Dante or any other potential roles out there, I'm always down. I sort of say I'm an actor first and foremost, and following my passion work with the documentary stuff. So absolutely, anytime I might get a call or a chance or an opportunity to be in another film or other cool projects like those that I've worked on, I will be down, and I am down.
Well, there you go.
I have not thrown in the towel yet.
Oh man. Let's see here. What else do we have? Um, Someone asked. Schmover asks, Can you talk about Dan Southworth and Capcom? I bet he got into a lot of trouble by talking about DMC5, and was heavily censored on his social media before the announcement of DMC5. And if so, would you be able to just tell us a
Well,
little bit about that?
yeah, I would say Dan wasn't, censored, I should say, or he didn't get into any trouble. He did, I think he doesn't run his social media. He has other people do that, and he pops in every now and then. Um, and I think, so this last E3 last year, he had posted, or one of his, admins posted a picture of me and Itsuno-san, um, and him sort of holding Itsuno-san. I think the prior year had come to E3, and we all got together for dinner and caught up, and then that E3 was coming up, so he sort of said, "Hey, E3, good to see you." So then, sort of the impression people had from that was, Dan is going to be in Devil May Cry 5, or Dan is, part of that project. And that was sort of the assumption people had. Capcom sort of was like, Dan, we don't, people are sort of taking it this way. We don't want people to take it that way. So could you please take that post down? And that was really, I think, the extent of it. It was not, he didn't get in trouble, so to say. It's just people's interpretation of a specific tweet. Him just sort of saying, "Hey guys, E3 is coming up, and last E3 we had fun with Itsuno-san. See you again." Now that kind of thing. So it was this kind of confusion, misinterpretations of things, and then Capcom politely said, "Hey Dan, could you take that?" No, actually, I think what they did is they initially they were going to say, "Could you take it down?" But then they said, "Well, if you take it down, then it's just going to create more controversy and more people are going to wonder more stuff. So actually, just leave it." I think that was the conversation. So, and at the end of the day, I think it stayed up there. But a lot of, it, Capcom wants to keep, they want to keep the audience on their seats, right? As we all do with whenever we're pushing a project, or they don't want to spoil anything. Capcom doesn't want to spoil anything. They want to keep the audience engagement as high as it can be, and anticipation and the wonder, and this is why a lot of people, it's a love-hate relationship with the trolls and the spoilers out there that go in and ruin the story on a lot of these games. Ruin the ending for us. No, nobody wants. A lot of people want to know the ending, but then they don't. And this is where the internet, again, going to this issues that we just talked about before, where people are like, "Don't post it, or it's horrible." I don't want to know the end. I don't want to know the spoilers. And then other people feel it's their duty to report everything and to tell every little bit about everything that's happening. And again, it's both sides are valid in their exploration. We just have to sort of pick our